we will start with the Houston Rockets. And you need to know that they don't have any point guards anymore.
They do not. R.I.P. Fred Van Vleet.
After Fred Van Vleet, after it was announced, he tore his ACL. And you suddenly look at this roster that after you get Kevin Durant, you're like, wow, you have this team. You have your one veteran point guard who can handle the ball all the time. You have amazing defensive talent. The one thing that you needed last year was a bucket getter, and you got the bucket getter of a generation, of maybe history. You got the bucket getter. And now everything changes because this seemingly this puts all the pressure on one of three things. Either one, Amen Thompson has to take a serious ball handling leap, and his handle has to get insanely tight, and he can run point, but it's going to take him from being this off-ball guy to being the guy, the creator. Reed Sheppard, who barely played last year, and finally to be like, hey, guess what? You are now the point guard for a team that has aspirations of winning a championship, or three, being aggressive in the trade market and going out and getting somebody, and now using even more of your assets to go and replace this issue. The Rockets, they could have withstood some injuries on the wing because they just have so many wings, even in their big rotation, because they have Steven Adams, Sengun, they have Clint Capella, they have all that. This is the one spot where they were very, very thin, and this is the worst injury that they could have had.
100%. Some Rockets fans are telling themselves, listen, Fred Van Vleet is kind of washed. Last year, he was chucking a lot of shots. I'd rather see Kevin Durant shoot. I'd rather see Sengun shoot. I'd probably rather see Amen Thompson shoot. Shit, I might rather see Jabari Smith shoot those shots. So they're telling themselves this isn't a big deal. And I understand that because he's not, probably shouldn't be one of the three best players on your team next year. Amen should lap him. Maybe already has in your mind, whatever. I get that, but in terms of every box you need to check to have a competent offense, he is the only one that checks that box on that team. This is the most important fourth best player on any team, I think. Of any team that has aspirations of winning a chip and being a real contender, this is the most important fourth option, just because of everything you said with the lack of other options to do simple ball handler stuff. And what did we see the last few years of Kevin Durant's career? Him dying because he's playing on a team with no point guard where he has to be the lead playmaker. He's going back to 2022 when he didn't have Kyrie on the Nets and he is running hella pick and rolls, being the lead guy. That's not what I want for 45-year-old Kevin Durant.
Yeah, and even when it's like Devin Booker running point, who, I mean, like he could do this stuff, but Devin Booker, even him running point is, you still have a guard who commands so much attention from the defense that you can still squint your eyes and maybe find a way. Like the real issue on top of all of like their fit or whatever was like, and let's add Bradley Beal and add another like redundant player in here. But like you can kind of squeeze it with Book. You don't have it here. Reed Sheppard didn't play. Reed Sheppard was in the G League last year. Yeah. And all of the bright spots were like, hey, he took 36 shots in the G League yesterday because we're trying to build up his confidence. Now you have this window where, and regardless of whatever the Rockets say, as soon as you trade assets and as soon as you like traded a guy that you took at the very, very top of the draft in Jalen Green and tried everything to make it work, the moment you ship him out of there and bring in the 37-year-old in KD, you are on win now timing. Yeah. So you don't have time for, Reed Sheppard is gonna, take his lumps as a ball handler, as a playmaker. No, he has to be good right now. If that's gonna be the path to do it. And that's unfair to ask of him.
Yeah, and even if it is fair, and like even if you are high on his offense and his ability to do that a year into his career, it makes their defense so much worse. He's little. And like I can buy that he makes an offensive leap by simply being more able to handle the pressure of running point guard. His jump shot is good, and that'll be a thing he gets off. The mid-range ability will be there. He has some good paint touch ability, kicking out as a passer. Like I can buy all that will happen. He's tiny. Yeah. And they have good defensive infrastructure around him, but the fact that is your main guy you have to play because of offense, and now you have to deal with that defensive liability, which maybe he won't be that. In college, he was a great turnover player. He was a good defender, but we're seeing every year now in the playoffs that playing small guards is getting harder and harder. And I can envision him getting to a point in his career where he's not a liability. But in his first year in the playoffs, in his first year in the rotation, to have that much offensive responsibility.
He's just the GOAT. Like if he comes in and just does everything, this is a top 10 player in the NBA.
It's Allen Iverson. Okay, so it's fine. Like, and even Allen Iverson might get picked on the playoffs these days. Like it's tough to be a small guard.
Yeah, I 100% agree with y'all. It's so unfair to ask something of like to this degree to Reed Sheppard, like year fucking one. This was like bare minimum, like year 2. And this is even a stretch to year 2 asking him to be a championship level caliber point guard. Then it's like it's still a stretch. Needless to say, thankfully, like this team and this front office has been ran smartly, and they've like made all the roundabout moves, and they have like an egregious amount of assets still. One of the most important assets in the entire NBA is that, okay, cool. Like they still have all their draft picks, but the draft picks that moved the most earlier, I told you guys that Brooklyn don't have control of some of their 2027 draft pick. That's because Houston Rockets have that. They own that draft pick. And on top of that too, they also have the complete unprotected rights to the Phoenix Suns draft pick of the year 2027, which moves a lot, and that's easily like one of the more tantalizing assets that the entire NBA could fucking offer. So while I do think they probably should like definitely give more opportunity to reach Sheppard, I don't think there's a trade or anything like that, but I definitely do think that one of these assets or both of these assets need to be moved with quickness, because like you said, you don't have a year to just go ahead and wait on Fred Van Vleet, waiting on him to like come back, or you can't wait on Reed Sheppard to finally develop and risk him being potentially bullied and have insane playoff stinkers. Fuck all of that. You have all these assets for a reason. Use them.
Yeah, the only tough part is what money do they want to move to match? So they're gonna have to figure out like losing some of the depth you just brought in. It's just a tough situation to happen before the season even starts, because we can't even tell ourselves, okay, Reed can buy time, KD can be more of a ball handler, Amanda can get those reps, we can buy time until Van Vliet comes back. Losing him before the season even starts, like it really does feel to me like they're being stripped of their true contender status. Which, you know, if they go get somebody like you said, that can come back just as fast. But like, what are the alternatives if they don't make a move? Like all the things I said will happen. They're gonna have to play even more through the post, through Sengun, and like utilize.
They gotta hope it. They gotta pray for a Sengun leap.
Yeah, but even then, like, it's easy to say that. Like those guys will take the shots, right? Like they have other guys that can take the shots. They'll put together like an approximation of good offense. It won't be killing them in their ability to like win games or anything. But we've seen these teams go up against these elite defenses, specifically the Thunder, who they'll have to probably go through if they'll make a finals. The Thunder prey on teams with bad passing talent up and down the roster. Look what happened last year when they played the Nuggets, and they knew that around Jokic 1 through 4, they're not going to have the ability to throw these entry passes to Jokic in the post. If any type of consistency, when Alex Caruso is draped around Jokic, and we have elite ball handling defenders like Cason Wallace, like J-Dub, like Dort, applying pressure to the ball handler, things start to unravel really quickly when you don't have the passers to get it to your main big man scorers of types. So that's awkward. Amen Thompson, like I've always had a vision for him as a point guard, being this uber athletic Rajon Rondo type of guy. His handle is so far from that. His ability to shoot over a screen when people go under is so far from that. He's gonna have to be like a Ben Simmons type of slasher. And Ben Simmons gets joked on about a lot. He was incredible at utilizing the space defenses allowed for him as a slasher by sagging off of him. Like he's very one of one in the way he was able to be a point guard without a shot. I'm not gonna assume a man can do that right away. I don't know what to bank on of all these maybes. I don't know which one I can bank on as being like, oh, this will solve it.
The bank on is, and even like without the ball handling, the bank on is no matter what the situation is, Kevin Durant is going to score 27 a night on 50% from the field, right? So you have that, and then at least for them, you have a tool that everybody try to copy at the end of the season, which is, hey, we'll just play Sengun and Steven Adams, and we're just going to clean up every single offensive board, because we're going to miss a lot anyways. And so you're going to have this weird, without Fred, obviously, everything is going to be weird if you don't make a move. And so you're going to have this weird amalgamation of like tough middies from KD and offensive rebounds. It's going to be like peak like dead ball era type of vibes.
Is that how we want to live again? Like,
I'm not going to lie.
I mean, like if you don't make a move, but like you don't have any other option, because how many assets and how much are we going to move? Because we already moved Jalen Green. We already moved Cam Whitmore out of here also. And so all of the young pieces that we want to keep, that we want to develop, they're going to stay here, you know?
Yeah. And that's why I'm like, going back to what you said when it comes to like their offensive play style and all that, like they're easily the most unique championship caliber team over the last like 5-6 years, easily. Like nothing about them makes sense, and they just straight up get it out the mud, and they're the best team to do that over the last, at least especially last year.
Yeah.
And the only thing that makes sense when it comes to how they can get out of the situation is, of course, like going to the bank of draft picks, but also you have to sacrifice a young player. And the only player in my mind who is like worth doing that, considering the potential that he still has, and how like losing him necessarily won't like hurt you too much, at least currently right now in the state of your franchise, is Jabari Smith. Like he has to be sacrificed. There's no like real conversation.
Oh dang, but I like
around that.
Jabari.
I love him too.
Didn't they just extend him?
Yeah,
So
5/125.
can they trade him for this whole year, or is it a
I think
February type of thing?
I think
I
it
mean,
might be a
January 15th type of thing.
It might be a January 15th type of thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but yeah, they did just give him a bag, which is like a good number. But yeah, everything for them is super weird. But yeah, I think overall, it's just a tough situation to have it happen. 3 weeks before the season started, and now you feel kind of handcuffed. So.
Yeah, and just like again, they're not cooked. Like they're still gonna be a good team. It just feels like they're kind of capped out now as being the third best team in the conference after OKC and Denver. Once they got Kevin Durant, you're like, oh, so now they check all the boxes and they don't got to be this punch you in the mouth team. They can play like sustainable, regular, high floor basketball without having to rely on gimmicks.
Yeah,
and their gimmick can take you far with the too big thing, but it just feels so deflating.
I feel that.